Later today, protesters in favor of illegal immigration plan to hold major rallies in Phoenix and New York City, protesting Donald Trump's stance on the question. Our next guest says he's seen firsthand who these protesters really are, and they're not who you might expect. Joining us now from Nashville is Milwaukee County, Wisconsin Sheriff David Clarke. Sheriff, it's great to see you this morning. The hat is fantastic. I can't deny it. I love it. So tell us who these protesters are. We're getting one version from the Daily Press. You say you've seen them and you have a...
Well, first of all, the Daily Press has misidentified them from the beginning, and they do so intentionally. The liberal mainstream media is nothing more than a propaganda wing for the Democrat Party. I identified these individuals for who they really are well over a year ago. I call them anarchists. It's a conglomeration of misfits. You have rowdy juveniles, you have criminals, you have cop haters, you have university students, you have organized labor. And there's a spattering of well-intentioned people who are being used in this, and they're put out front to put on a good face. This is a dangerous movement. It is a totalitarian movement. We should not soft shoe this. They only understand one thing, Tucker, and it's force. And I'm talking about reasonable force by law enforcement, but I'm also talking about law-abiding citizens standing up for their constitutional rights and not have their constitutional rights trampled on at these rallies. I'm not encouraging them to start the fight, but I'm one of those that comes from the school. If a fight is inevitable, hit first and hit hard.
So I'm a little bit confused by their position, because nobody in the press ever asked them what exactly they're for. Is the idea that it's immoral for a country to have borders, and that anyone who wants to move to a country has a moral right to do that and to get all the benefits of citizenship without being a citizen? Is that what they're arguing?
It sounds like it to me, but look, every sovereign nation has a duty and an obligation and a vested interest to protect its borders. And it has to protect its borders for a number of reasons. One of them is homeland security issues. Another one is to spread and prevent the spread of infectious diseases like the Ebola virus. Remember that one? And now the Zika virus. Any pregnant woman in the United States has to be very afraid that this United States government is not doing everything it can to prevent the spread of the Zika virus. And the other reason that the United States has a duty and obligation is because we want to make sure we don't have a heavy influence of ne'er-do-wells. Let's be honest about this. The overwhelming majority of people in the United States illegally are not here seeking political asylum.
But it also raises a philosophical question, which is, if you don't have borders, are you a country?
No, you're not. That's why I said every sovereign nation. You know, every country in the United States protects its borders. As a matter of fact, we have some of the most lax immigration laws in the world. And it is high time, and I think it's going to be a big issue in this campaign. And I heard Mrs. Bill Clinton say several weeks ago that the border is secure. Look, nobody believes the border is secure. She knows the border isn't secure unless she thinks we're stupid.
It'd be interesting to see if a protest like this broke out in, say, Mexico City, where people demanded the Mexican government let everyone from Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua in who wanted to come in. You don't see protests like that in other countries, I notice.
No, and this isn't protest anyway. Let's not misidentify this, okay? This is rebellion. This is an anarchist movement. They specialize in fear and intimidation and chaos, and they do it in the name of virtue. The only thing they understand, like I said, is force. And I'm talking reasonable force here. But like you said, in Mexico, if this were to happen and outsiders were coming in, this thing would have been crushed a long time ago.
I think you're probably right there. Sheriff, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure.